The following is a short multimedia presentation updating our fall and early part of winter so far and what pattern changes might be in store for the region. This presentation is brought to you by the National Weather Service in Billings. We have been discussing that the jet stream positioning has been the major factor for our warmer and drier conditions for the early part of winter so far. Well, this pattern appears to be about to change into next week. We are beginning to see signs of the jet stream dipping further south, allowing for the colder air that has been trapped across Alaska and northern Canada to sink south into the northern Rockies. We are also monitoring an increasingly moist flow off the Pacific that would combine with the cold air and significantly increase the snow threat across all of the northern Rockies region. If you have travel plans across the region next week, please stay tuned to the latest forecast. So as we begin to transition to a more typical winter pattern, let's take a look back at how the fall and early winter has fared so far. This graph shows our average temperature trends for the period of October 1st to the current date. For much of the area, temperatures have been consistently above normal, a real noticeable difference from last year's below normal temperatures. Both Miles City and Billings ranked in the top 10 warmest periods on record, Miles City ranking 6th warmest and Billings 9th warmest. With the warm temperatures, wind has also been notably stronger. Average wind speeds in Billings for this fall and early winter period have been the windiest recorded in the past decade. Note that the winds were quite a bit weaker during the cold and snowy season last year. While overall dry conditions have been noted, nothing too extreme, except for some nearby mountains and foothill locations. For most of the lower elevations, precipitation has been below average since our record rains and flooding of the past spring. Although some weaker systems that have moved across the region have been able to impact some of the mountains and nearby foothills with some locally heavier precipitation. We have seen this in places like Red Lodge and Sheridan. In fact, Sheridan has seen its fourth wettest stretch on record dating back to October 1st. The snow has been the biggest topic of interest. Has there truly been an unusual lack of snowfall? We pulled some climate information for select locations across the northern United States. Most areas have been experiencing the same lack of snowfall with, well, below normal snows. When compared to the more extreme snow amounts of last year, it certainly feels like a lack of winter out there so far. Through our current time, Billings has actually ranked 10th least snowiest on record. With the weaker systems that have put down a couple of inches of snow at times, quick warm-ups have been able to keep overall snow cover to a minimum. This chart shows days in which we measured at least 1 inch of snow on the ground, officially at the airport in Billings. Typically by this time of year, we see about 27 days of snow on the ground. This year that number has only been 11 days. As we recall last year with the consistent snows and cold temperatures, we had already experienced 50 days of snow on the ground. Still plenty of time to make up our current lack of snowfall. This graph divides up normal snowfall by month for Billings. Note that the months of January through May still account for about 70% of our snowfall in a typical season. For any concerns on lack of moisture, this graphic depicts normal precipitation by month for Billings. Note that from now into the spring months, precipitation in a typical year is on the increase. Our wettest months are April, May, and June, some of the precipitation likely falling as a wet snow. So while the winter has started off on a warm and dry note, periods of cold and wet conditions are certainly likely. Again, please stay tuned to your latest forecast, as this pattern change may be on its way as we progress into next week.